Hello everyone, and welcome back to another game demo first look and impressions. I'm your host, a bowl of instant ramen, and today we will be looking into Ghostrunner. Now then, to start this off, Ghostrunner is an action-oriented, fast-paced single-player game set in a post-apocalyptic cyberpunk world where you take on the role of, well, a Ghostrunner. You and many others like you are created to be the most advanced blade fighters and are tasked to safeguard the peace and order of Dharma Tower. That is, the last bastion for human civilization after a cataclysmic event has destroyed most of the known world. But the tyrannical Keymaster, possibly this Doc Ock looking shadow in the trailer, has plunged humanity once again into the brink of extinction and has left many dead, and the streets are crawling with violence. It is your job to climb to the top of Dharma Tower to face the Keymaster and take your revenge and restore the peace. That's just about it for the story we know so far. I won't try to dive deeper, instead I'll let the game tell it to you itself when it comes out. Nevertheless, it has the markings of a dystopian setting that we all know and love. A tyrannical dictator who has no regard for human life? Check. Rampant lawlessness and chaos in the public? Check. Optional futuristic post-apocalyptic timeline? Checkaroo. So we're good to go. The demo is relatively short. Without making any mistakes, you can finish it in roughly 10 minutes or less. But since I suck at this, it took me around 30 minutes to complete. Honestly, even though it is described as fast-paced, let's not ignore the amount of effort the developers put into making this game as beautiful as it is. Dharma Tower is a gargantuan structure built to house what is left of humanity, so you can imagine it would be very cramped. The buildings are so near to each other that you can actually hear your neighbors flush their toilet. But it does create the necessary pathways that we, the player, use to get around, so if there's a will, there's a way, I guess. You can truly immerse yourself through the visuals alone, as there are so many cyberpunk elements crammed into a relatively small area that you can easily miss as you're slashing your way through the level. There's so many things to check out. The small cramped corridors of the city, a maze of pathways that connect one area to another, the high-reaching monoliths in the background, exposed electrical lines that act as environmental hazards, neon lights. You can easily tell that you do not want to be caught in this type of scenario, and that at any turn could prove hazardous to any normal person. The levels themselves are linear in a sense, as there's only one path you can take to advance, but there are branching paths that you can use to catch enemies off guard, going behind them instead of taking everything head on. The overall structure of these levels are basically platforms that you jump from one place to another while being under fire. It kinda reminds me of super hot gameplay, where you're constantly on the move but with added fall hazards and a nice shiny sword as your only weapon. You get your way around the area through dashing, wall running, and grappling hooks, or a combination of all of them and all that parkour goodness on certain areas, and you have to plan carefully how you'd go about, as you will be in constant fire from enemy projectiles, and if you fail in going from one platform to another, you will fall to your most certain death.
The trespasser is in the air ducts.
The combat, as I stated before, is very fast. You don't want to be caught standing idle, as this game takes a one-shot kill approach. So you use your skills and speed to outmaneuver and dodge incoming projectiles in order for you to close the gap and deliver a blow of your own. Dashing will be your go-to approach to get near to enemies quickly. Well, yeah, it's pretty obvious right there. But you also have this mechanic called the sensory boost, which slows down time while you're in midair, that also enables you to strafe either left or right to dodge projectiles that is coming your way, and so that you can drop down and slash your enemies in half. In the demo, the game only gives us the basic type of enemies. You know, the regular grunts who shoot at you and do nothing else. In the cinematic trailer, however, at the beginning of the game, we catch a glimpse of one enemy wielding a sword, so hopefully we can also get some melee enemies into the fray. I would also love to see some defensive moves other than moving out of the way. Sort of like a deflect move that you can use on projectiles, which swipes bullets away from you, or a parry mechanic for melee. That would surely spice up the combat a bit, especially if in the later areas you will have to fight a mix of both ranged and melee enemies. There is still so much that we have not seen that this game can offer. Possibly, maybe we can get some upgrades along the way as we progress through the levels. We could upgrade our skills, we could dash farther, or something like that. I don't know. Maybe. Or maybe some modifications to our characters, some new weapons. I would love to see new weapons. Like, you could, since the sword is the only thing that we can see on our character, I would like an option that we could change our weapon to make it look cool, just for aesthetic reasons. Just for aesthetic, I would love to see that one. Or better yet, maybe the game could add in our own ranged weapon. I don't know, but I highly doubt that, as this game seems to be centered around a lot of sword fights, sword play on our own part. So maybe. We don't really know. I'm not really sure. I don't want to claim anything. It's just the possibilities, you know. So what can I say about this game so far? Well, it's very visually pleasing. There's beauty in its chaos, and I would also like to mention that it also supports ray tracing, though I cannot show that one to you because I don't have the capacity to do so. The look of the game has been thought out really well, which complements the entire theme that the game tries to embody. It's gritty, it's dark and grim, and that adds to its overall charm. Combat and movement work well with each other. It feels very satisfying to be able to clear an entire level with one well thought out plan of approach. Although I would have liked it better if you can feel the impact of your blade cleaving through flesh, because it kind of feels like slicing through air. Sometimes I couldn't tell if I hit something or not, but that's just my personal preference. If you're not used to this style of play, then a little practice will come a long way. Can I say that it's challenging? Maybe. Or it could become a repetitive slog, making the rest of the experience a boring chore. Only one way to find out, and that's wait for the full game. Ghostrunner is very near releasing. As stated in the Steam page, it will be coming out on October 28th of this year. So if you're interested in purchasing the game, I advise you to try the demo first so you can get a first-hand feel if this game is for you. I'll leave a link in the description for the Steam page where you can check it out for yourself. I'm still gonna be doing some Bannerlord videos, so don't think I stopped doing that. I figured I'd try something different for a change. You know, variety is the spice of life. So, once again, thanks for watching this video, guys. I'll see you on the next one.